Hey, this is Kinsey Shae with Bobby Merwin with
Hello.
Gen-X-PLORTATION. And we're just here to talk about different perspectives from a coach world, from a counseling perspective, from a woman perspective, from a man perspective. And we're talking about generational X type of things that we kind of come
hmm
about. And today we thought we would talk about why generational forgiveness is important. Why is it important, Bobby? Why?
Oh, why is it important? I can't get my screen right. There you are. I wanted you over my camera.
I
You said I'm
know.
ready to go, and I'm like, so am I. And I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not ready at all. So hold on. Hold. Coffee. Put your cup up. We got to see no coffee, no worky.
Yes, no coffee, no
Yeah,
work.
I'm 3 hours earlier over here. So we
I
just cracked
know.
the dawn.
Yeah, I'm a few cups ahead of you.
Why is generational forgiveness important?
Yes.
Well, the funny thing is, it's always discovered too late. You know, when we're teenagers, we look at our parents and go, oh, they're stupid. And I know, because I've got a 15-year-old daughter, so she's got to look at me like I'm just, why aren't you doing this? Why haven't you done this? How come you're not good at this? And we have to be able to understand as we get older, we have that gift of being able to understand what our parents went through because now we're going through it.
Yeah.
And we need to teach people to extract the knowledge from that and give some acceptance and forgiveness back in that to be able to help themselves with their own lives. If you forgive, you can move on better. Because if we reflect on some of the things that we've done in our lives, I'm certain that we're thinking, I wish I wouldn't have said that to my parents. I wish I wouldn't have done that. I wish I wouldn't have been that way. Well,
Right.
forgive yourself for not knowing, because they're going to forgive you probably if you come to them.
Exactly. And I
That's all the
think
smarts I have today. Thank you for watching. We appreciate your time.
no,
I don't
I
know
think
where that came from. I'm not even awake right now.
I no. I think intentionality and capacity is a key component, meaning as we're in our self-discovery, as we're trying to learn ourselves, having the intentionality to release what no longer serves us, because we have a tendency to get hooked into our limiting beliefs and we repeat a cycle, and so having that intentionality of growth and to release is to forgive. It's not waving the white flag. It's not, because when we're in that white flag moment, we're stroking our ego saying, I'm never going to give up. I'm never going to give up, which there is.
We need a Rickroll right there. Somebody's got to have a Rickroll that just comes through the screen as you say that. Never going to give, never going to give.
Never give up.
What did you... and people say, and you're a counselor. Okay, whatever. Yeah. So what did you say? Hooked into our what? I was trying to write that down because I want that for later.
No, we kind of just hook into our ego and we soothe our ego and we hook into that auto default, playlist of everything that we were taught from our parents. And an awesome way to up level your life is to really set intentionality on growth. And growth is releasing, because you can't fill your cup if it's already full of shit,
Wow. No, you cannot. Excuse me.
A little mud sludge, but
yeah.
it's never a good thing. It's a little messy.
I borrowed a premise from Dr. Joyce Brothers from about 25 years ago. Now, this is back in the day when you would drive down the road, listen to an AM station and get like, they had shows on during the day.
Yeah. Like,
if anybody's under 30, I'll speak a little slower. So she had a show on and she was telling somebody that you cannot carry this bag of crap with you everywhere. It's heavy and it stinks and people know about it. So I used that metaphor with a client once, and he was an artist and it stuck with him so tough that he made a painting, like a like a 2 foot by 3 foot painting for me of his representation. And we just basically called it the 57-pound bag of shit. We just had to put an arbitrary number on it. And it really, really stuck with him. But it was about letting go of it, because he was showing what he was doing. He says, this is what I was doing. This is what I don't want to do anymore. I literally hung it in my office. And people would look around my office and go, what's that? I'm glad you asked. So yeah, we got to let go.
Let go.
Let go. I think there was some film cartoon thing with ice.
There was a whole song of let go.
Well, I'm not gonna say the D word. They got lots of lawyers. I know.
But I think a lot of times we are generationally, I think many generations have this fallacy that, especially the like Generation X and older, that forgiveness, admitting when you're wrong, showing emotion, it's all a weakness. And it's not.
Yes.
It's a superpower. It's a superpower.
It is a superpower. And I will be the first to admit, anything below 30 for me, don't apologize, don't show any weakness. And now I'm like, oh, wait, I have control of not holding on to that angst anymore. Really? Oh, cool. Where's that valve? Oh, there it is. Oh, cool. Oh, that's so much better.
I mean, like what we do, I have my nursing and then I have my coaching, and, I share a lot of my story, and I was very much taught not to do that. Growing up in the Midwest, you don't air your dirty laundry.
No. My parents were from Minnesota.
Yeah.
And Germany.
Yeah.
So talk about, you will not talk about the feelings. No, that's not good. Drink, you must drink it away. Drink it.
I mean, because even when I started being more online, doing YouTube videos, speaking, doing a TEDx, and I was really talking about very personal traumatic situations. And my dad and mom were like, we don't like that you're, and I go, I'll keep you in the best light. Like, I'm not going to air your baggage, but I'm going to talk about my experience. You know what I mean? Like, I had to
What baggage would that be? Tell me about it.
Because we all have baggage to pretend that we don't have things that affect us. It's just pure idiocy, meaning, it's just living in denial. It's like the first stage of grief, and we get stuck on that first stage.
Yep. We need a list of Kinseyisms.
I know.
Yeah. Idioticy. Yes, let's use that. Idiocraticacy.
I was thinking of a different word, and I put it together. I was like, all right, I'm going with that.
If you've just joined us, we're putting up a translation page now.
No, that is funny shit, because like when I was in the hospital after my car accident, I had about 10 of my friends, and they literally wrote down Kinseyisms. They came up with 2.5 pages of Kinseyisms, and they all knew what they were.
I love it.
They all knew what they were.
Yep. Oh, you speak fluent Kinsey, do you? Oh, yeah. Good. Well, we can all go out then. That's great.
I know. I can't remember. There was a phrase I always said, and it was just quirky, and I can't remember what it was. But there was this big, huge dude. He was military, and he said it came out at work, and it's just a little quirky, whatever, Midwest girl thing, that I always say. And he said it at work, and he didn't realize he said it. And everybody just kind of looked at him like, what?
What did you just say?
Yeah.
I love it. I want to touch on that because you said that you can't remember it right now because you kind of hook those words to a feeling.
I do.
And that's what we have in our world that we work in.
Mm-hmm.
that we try and get people past as they hook those things to feelings, and they know how to say these things, and they know how to drink this alcohol, and they know how to yell this loud, but they don't have words for the other feelings. And that's what we work on, is trying to get those and grab the rest of it. I mean, it's like, first thing I think of is cleaning a tub. It goes on forever. You
Right.
have to be kind of strategic when you're doing it. And even when you do it and you go around the outside, there's still going to be that little bit, even though you did go buy it. Right. So we have to give kind of leeway for those people to
Right.
try and be able to express themselves. And it's difficult. I mean, anybody that doesn't have our education,
Right.
that is older than us, they have a lot of difficulties. It makes me think of the meme that we were looking at today, that one that has that, I call it Burger King font now, because all the Burger King ads have this font.
Here, I'll put it.
And there it is right there. Hold on, let me move my screen. Welcome to the Gen X playground. In case of injury, walk it off, suck it up, blow on it, stop crying. You're fine.
You're fine.
Yeah.
I was up my whole
You're
life.
fine.
You're fine.
Rub some dirt on it. You're fine.
Yes.
Whereas today, oh, Steven got dirty. Oh, please. David, get a rag. Steven's dirty. That's kind of what it feels like right now. It's like pampering to the 12th power. And I like how you put the other one right next to it. If I may read that, because it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
You may want to forgive your parents for raising you through their own unresolved trauma, not being able to understand you because they did not have the capacity to, not being able to teach you certain skills as nobody taught them, being emotionally unavailable as their parents were emotionally unavailable, doing the best they could with what they knew and had, following cultural norms that they were surrounded with, and raising you through their own struggles, worries, pains, and fears. Now, I feel that solidly as a parent, because I have a 15-year-old daughter, and I'm sure she must think that half of my brains have fallen out in the last 6 years.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, with all of these, it's all about really evolving emotionally, physically, spiritually, relationships. You're always evolving in your capacity to hold. So a lot of times we get anchored into, well, my parents did this, so it must be okay. But we are not in the same time as our parents. We have
we're not.
We have different everything. So to hold on to those values, because a core thing in my in my coaching is I do values work and environment work, where where are you in your environments, like your relationships and so forth. Because so often we anchor so much to those core beliefs that we got from our parents and, our elders. I'll say elders. Because that is what is comfortable. And our ego its job is to make us feel safe. So it's going against the grain of what we haven't historically done. It's going against the grain. So that's where the resistance, that's where the rub comes in. That's where the oh my God, I don't know if I can do this type of thing. That,
Yeah. I think I'm going to have to brush up on my Freud, look at that id, ego, and super ego area to see where I am with all of this. But yes, I mean,
I'm huge into the ego. Yeah, I'm huge. Because when you break it down like that, it's just easy to observe where you are. Am I getting anchored into this? Am I getting pulled in? Because anytime you plug into something, it takes your energy. So you can choose where you're going to plug it in. Are you going to plug it in?
You say plugging in, yes. And I like that. I'm going to use that, because I say renting space.
Yeah.
It's renting space in your head and in your heart. And you need that space for your wife or your husband or your significant other or your child or your bunny or whatever you have, rather than letting your landlord that's, neurotic and angry at you because the lawn isn't a certain way yell at you and that's taking up space in your head now, or your boss getting on your butt for something. I'm like, you got to just brush that off. It's all done now. I can't control how they behave.
Right. I mean, forgiveness is, it's a process of allowing yourself to purge that emotional onion, meaning, we're all looking for, or the majority, I would say, is looking for love and appreciation. They just want to feel peace. Right. But you have to keep peeling that onion. You have to look at your anger. Like, what pain is under that? What fear is under that? What regret is under that? And really express it, not censored. Like, I'm freaking angry at the fact of blah, 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 blah. And you made me feel blah, 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 blah. And I had so much pain and hurt and whatever, just releasing it. Those are some of I call it, my mentor called it, and I'm using it, but the total truth letter, because you're being at peace with yourself. And I use the total I never called it the total truth letter. I just called it journaling, because I would do that. I would just release all my emotions on paper, and then I would release it. I would burn it. It wasn't like, you don't have to give these letters or these recordings, because I've had people record it too, where they just, I'm like, if you need to hit a pillow, do whatever, get it out of your body, because I'm very much into somatic, like allowing your body to feel, because all of this all this trauma is stored in your nervous system. So you have to release it. And sometimes releasing it is just getting activated, and get.
Yep. And I'll tell you, Kinsey, I want to touch on that, please, because I didn't believe that. I thought it was some sort of holistic hippie bullshit. No. Until probably 6 years ago. And then I started believing that and understanding that we're holding on to that. And to dovetail what you're saying, one of the things that I educate, I almost had a Kinseyism there. I took 4 words and put them together. Educated. One of the things that I try and educate my clients on early on, with men, it's 2 things, and with women, it's 1, because women are simpler when it comes to counseling, in my opinion, because they are more apt to want to visit that onion, that we'll call it. Right. Whereas men, they peel off a couple layers and go, oh no, this bullshit, I don't like this. Where's the bar? Right. They're out.
Let's deep fry this shit. Let's cover it
up. Let's make it a blooming onion.
Yep.
I can't do Australian, not unless I hear it. So, anyway, the point is that I let them know that they will feel like they peeled something back. Hooray! I did something. I don't need counseling anymore. I said, you're going to feel that way. That's fine. And if you need to leave, you can. I will have a soft landing for you when you come back. I'm not going to judge you on this. But what I try and explain to them is that they cannot see right now, because they're too close to the painting. They can't see that they are in a bunch of shit. And they're comfortable there because it's what they know. Right. And what I'm trying to let them know is that I can help you look around that and go, oh, let's move this. Oh, let's move that. It's like, I think about being like a hoarder, those poor people that have that closed off mental capacity to not do the things that they need to. I mean, we all have a mess here and there. That's fine. But when it's, like the television show, they have literally just closed off and become myopic, and they're hurting inside, and they don't want to make the effort to try and change it because they see it as too much of a mountain to climb that they don't have the ability to do. So if we walk with them, maybe we can at least go up the hill a little bit, and then they'll get some energy.
Well, I think with and I'm not going to get too much into it, but I think there's a lot of emotional and mental trauma that they haven't dealt with. So they use it as a comfort. And whatever the getting to fix hoarding, it's not these shows that go in and do everything for them, because it's just going to
Right.
be the same way in 6 months.
It is.
We
That is
really have
correct.
to peel that onion and figure out where that
Mhm.
trauma is and really
Yeah.
help them release it, because they're pretty much, they feel suffocated in their own skin. So they're pretty much creating an environment of
Yep.
suffocating their environment, you know,
Yes.
because
It's the difference between driving them up the hill or walking with them, because the walking takes effort. That is the effort of, we are going to move this stuff out, because you're absolutely right. Those television shows are just that. They're television shows. You have a crew of 14 people in biohazmat stuff, like getting stuff out of that house. That's not helping them as much as they need. They need to do it with you.
Right. Yes.
So,
and I think a lot of people, when they have an aha moment, they get awareness. That doesn't mean you changed. It doesn't mean that you transformed. You just have a bigger capacity or a bigger view. So, but you still have the resistance. And if you don't have somebody walking with you through that resistance, more often you're going to kind of fall back into your old habits, because you're not addressing the emotions. Because remember, I talk about this all the time. You have a decision how you anchor your emotional energy, replenishing or depleting, and that turns into your memories, your beliefs, and how you show up. So, I mean, if you're looking at just habits, it'll change for a day, but it's not going to change for a lifetime. And I'm very clear with my clients with that. Like, I mean, we can do this and you can like run with it. I mean, it's your choice, but you know, if you're not walking with somebody that can see your blind spots, typically you'll backslide into your old habits, because you're not really focusing on your emotional capacity or regulation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Taking that inventory to see, you know, what you're doing. One of the things you were talking about was peeling back that onion earlier. And I take, like, from the recovery world, you know, step 4, where you have to take a fearless moral inventory of yourself. And I kind of tweak it a little bit and have them walk through the things that they want to change. And they start looking at it and they're like, ugh, you know, like, I don't want to look at that. You know, that's me. I can't get away from it. Like, no, you can. We can work together. It just takes a minute. We can't just throw it away like a Kleenex. You know, we have to work through it. So,
but I mean, that's just hand in hand with, you know, when people use alcohol or any other substances, they're in that shutdown stage. You know, they are in the denial, I just want to numb out stage. So it makes sense that they don't want to look at it, you know.
No, it does. I get it.
Yeah, when I first, you know, started doing psych nursing, you know, staff with, you know, nurses and doctors are like, they're not ready, you know, they can't even look at it. And I go, it's going to take a minute. I mean, they've done like 30, you know, 40, 50, 60, 70 years of the same programming. It's going to take a minute for them to take a real look at themselves in the mirror. And doing that, it's hard. It's difficult. And if you already have the propensity to, you know, not want to feel, because that's what you've been taught by your parents, because in their time, that is what was taught by their parents, which makes sense. I mean, that was during the wars. That would, we have to be tough, you know?
Yes. And I try and tell my clients, taking a moral inventory of yourself is not a grocery list.
No.
We don't just go milk, eggs, bread, cheese. You know, okay, I'm good. Let's go to the store. Nope. This is going to take a moment. This is going to take a few sessions. This is going to take some time, because you're unraveling and unwrapping something that you've done. You just didn't really know you were doing it. It's like people that pick their nails or something. You know, they're doing it almost subconsciously, and then they look down and go, oh, was I doing that? I have the same habit. So that's why I said it. And it's something that I wish that I didn't do. And I can tell when I'm more stressed than not because of how my fingers will look. Right now, they look pretty darn good. But 2 weeks ago, they didn't look very good. And that's something that I have to keep unpacking to try and get over. So
Exactly. Like
airing my dirty laundry.
No, I kind of look at it like I've used the metaphor, when you're like, you have a Christmas present and somebody does like a gag gift and it's like layer and layer of paper.
Yes,
so
yes.
We quite often, every day we're slapping a new pretty paper on our bag of shit, right? And we're trying to avoid it to make it look pretty. And we keep on adding layer after layer after layer. You can't get through the 30 years of, wrapping the shit, the pretty paper in one session. It's
That's
gonna,
right.
it takes a little work to get to
that is so good. No, really, that is so good. And I'll tell you why. Because my family, little sick, we do this game every Christmas where we have a prize inside of a box, and it's inside of a box, inside of tape, inside of box, inside of tape, inside of box, inside of duct tape. And then you have to wear extra large gardening gloves while you're unwrapping it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can't use the dexterity of your fingers. You have to, and it's horrible. And then somebody's rolling dice while you're doing this. And if they roll a 6, then you get to hand the package to them. You can't just sit there and do it the whole time.
Right.
So what I'm getting at is it's got to feel like we have these huge gloves on when we're undoing all of this. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I feel sad. And I didn't know I had these feelings. And now I feel this weird guilt. Hold. Got it. Okay. We'll talk through. Let's go. Now you're seeing it. Good. Yeah. Let's go. Because now we're going to unpack. This is the hard stuff. And we call it unpacking for a reason, because does anybody like moving? Anybody? Nobody likes moving. Everybody hates moving. So if you can get people to help you when you're moving, metaphor, tie in. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's all the time we have. I'm just going to end on that note because I nailed it. And yeah.
No,
I'm fresh now. I got clients after this.
I know. No, it's just, a lot of people are like, I don't want the pain. I don't want to feel this way. And the pivotal question I ask, what is the cost of you going through this process with a mentor, a coach, or counselor? What is the cost of you going through it long term? Or, what's the cost if you keep doing it the same way? What is the greater cost? I mean, only you can answer that. If you're cool with you being you, be you, boo. I mean, I get it, but there's a reason that you did a call with me to see if I can help you.
Right.
There is something underlying, even if you're not ready to accept it. If you respond to contacting a counselor or a coach, there is something there. You have some kind of awareness, but your ego very much gets activated when you actually do it, because it's very uncomfortable. It's very vulnerable, because we're trying to get to the core of what is going up, what's showing up in your life, what's holding you back, where you are plugging your energy, and really guiding you on, rituals or habits, because I have a morning routine. I have a night routine. It's my bumper rails of being productive, and a lot of people, they're like, it sounds like too much work and whatever. And I go, for me, waking up and not having a plan and just, having a cup of coffee, sit down, I waste the whole morning. What is the mental cost of that? What is the mental cost of that?
Yes. I live on a calendar.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, I have so many things on my calendar, and I can't function without it. I have to check my calendar the night before just to make sure that I'm mentally sharp for what I have to do the next day. So I totally get you. And to tie in a metaphor there, to like reverse pack this, because we want people to be able to unpack, right?
Yeah.
But there have been times in our lives, I'm not going to point at you, I'll point at myself, where I may have had one drink too many. Now, all of us have that little sober person that is inside of us when we are overly intoxicated. It says, probably not the best idea. But we still go on with it anyway. The question is why? And the reason is because we're not feeling in the background any of the shit that we deal with on a regular basis. And we're having a reprieve. We're like, I can't feel anything. I can't feel my feet. I can't feel my soul, because I'm so intoxicated, right? Well, that's telescoping time. Because you've borrowed that time from the future. Now you're going to get it back when you wake up the next day with additional bonuses such as, hangover and whatever. But what I'm saying is, and I'm reverse packing this, is because we do that because of the feelings that we have. We're just not seeing them. But once we start drinking, we feel them because we become, drinking is a social lubricant and it changes how you process, right? But again, you go to level 6, you're like, I don't care. You're just drunk.
Right.
So instead of doing that, which is negative, by the way, let's underline that. Let's unpack it here in an office or, via, the googly web or whatever, and figure out how to say to ourselves, there's one thing that I'm going to unpack today. Maybe it's an eating issue. Like I've already planned out that for lunch, I'm having a salad. It's already ready to go. Okay. That's what I did before I got onto this thing is I made sure that I had a salad that was ready to go. I'm going to see 2 clients and then I have lunch. Mm-hmm. Right. And that's what I'm doing. That's my good thing for me to do today and not with 4 gallons of ranch. Because I do know people that do that. Like I'm having a salad. I'm like, whoa. You're just pouring, fat and horribleness onto there. So yeah, just do that one thing for yourself today. Feel free to do that one thing for yourself today because it's okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's just to kind of go for full circle, like forgiveness, the key points, it's for you. It's not for the other person. It's not validating that you did something wrong or they did something wrong. You have stored emotions that are keeping you stuck. And it's not selfish to release them. It's not.
That is also correct.
Yeah. And
yes.
When you're going through this, you might even feel guilt that you might even feel a certain way towards somebody, but you can't deny your feelings. There's a reason those feelings are there. Because when I get activated by stuff or by people, it's usually something I have to address. There's a trauma there. I call it 7 layers of why. Like it's like, why did I react so strongly? And then I'm like, well, maybe it's this. Okay, well, why? Usually to like the 7th layer, you get to the meat of it. But a lot of us don't allow space to really investigate and navigate our emotions because they've been so shut off in society, media. Every time people are on TV and they get emotional, they're just like, oh, they're a pussy, whatever.
Yeah.
And to me, when I see somebody brought to tears by something that's very profound, I'm like, they're so strong because that's not a societal norm, and that they feel they can do that is amazing.
Yeah, strong and in touch. They're in touch with themselves. They know what they're doing. You've heard that term, the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon?
I have heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to do the 7 whys of Kinsey Shae. We're going to make that. That's going to be in our store of stuff, purchase, swag.
I know.
Yeah. You have to remember the 7 whys of Kinsey Shae. Just keep asking why until you figure it out. Yes. But no, I agree with you. I'm having fun and taking the piss. Yes, but I totally agree with you. If you haven't figured out on the first why, then ask again until you get some sort of clarity to be able to let that go.
Yeah.
Just don't. That saying is just so overused, but it's so true. Let that shit go. Right. Stop holding on to it.
It's
Oh, I just looked at the clock. Wow. We're doing good.
yeah.
Yeah. trying to keep it within 30 minutes, and I looked up and went, well, we failed again. Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
Every day is a learning experience.
That's right. And I'm going to forgive myself for this.
Yes. So,
Mhm.
no, I would say that forgiveness in my life has been a huge superpower.
Mhm.
To the point where even like my coaches are like, Kinsey, I don't know how you could forgive somebody like that. Like, you know, when I was younger, I was raped and I
Mhm.
forgave the person and I went directly to them. It was a date rape, whatever. You know, I'm not going to get in the logistics of that, but the principle of
Mhm.
it is that I knew I had to forgive myself because I had all the Catholic guilt, the shame, all that. What did I do?
Mhm.
Blah, 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 blah. So I worked through that. And then I chose to talk to them and work through it. And we just realized we were just two stupid kids working with, you know, different family dynamics. And we weren't
Mhm.
intentionally trying to hurt one another. You know, we
Mhm.
were just very naive, misinformed, didn't really understand. We had very much
Mhm.
relationship views based on our parents, which weren't
Mhm.
always the best. You know, so I
Right.
bring that up to say is like, you know, once you start forgiving, it gives you so much grace, so much appreciation and compassion for yourself
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
compassion for the other person because we all are on a journey, my friends. We
Yep.
all are going through shit. And they might have projected something. I'm not condoning rape here. Please don't say that. I'm just talking from my
No, I know you're
experience.
not. Right, exactly. I think that anybody that would extrapolate that would need counseling. Definitely. Yeah, that's not what you're doing. Yeah.
I know. I've just learned to, you know, just make mention. This is not my.
Mhm. Right. Need to turn that into a Kinseyism.
I know.
Extrapolatage. There we go. We got it. Yeah. Yeah.
Extrapolate that shit.
Mm-hmm. Again,
But
it's on a t-shirt. It's going on there.
I know.
Yep.
We need to
Definitely.
do that. That would be super fun.
Yeah.
That would be a blast.
Yeah. We both have catchphrases that we use in our real
Yeah.
lives and in our counseling lives or whatever. And you know, I've got some things that I used in the book where people said, you need to put that into like a store, you know, that little saying, you
I get
know.
that all the time.
Yeah, especially with your isms. You got
Yeah,
some isms.
I know.
Yeah, definitely.
So
God.
I need to put that on my list of getting shit done. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We will talk about that during the week. That's fun because I've
Yes,
got a few of them myself. So
I know.
good.
So I guess in closing, we just really want this to be a space of encouragement, that you're not
Yes.
alone. This is all about just gaining perspective, having awareness so that you can be in a
Mm-hmm.
win-win situation for yourself, meaning you can make a choice to up level your life, whether you choose to do it with, you know, a group or with a counselor or with a coach. This is our way of giving back and
It
really
is.
really just giving you the awareness that there's options out there and that
Yep.
you have the capacity to grow, and everything that you came from, everything you went through does not define you. You are not your label. You are your values,
Mm-hmm.
not your parents. You are the culmination of the choices you make every day. So this is us just giving you the power to
Yes.
say yes to yourself because you are your rescue. You have the power
Mm-hmm.
inside of you, and it's super exciting and super
Mm-hmm.
engaging when you can allow yourself just to be with you. There's magical power in that. And it's not always going to be comfortable.
No, it's not always going to be comfortable. You are exactly right. And to dovetail what you were saying earlier, you know, we take time out of our day to do this. And the reason that we do is because we find this super important, because you and I have both had counseling in the past. And I know that the counseling that I got many, many years ago is what funneled me into doing this, because I found the importance of it. Because when I did go through it, I learned so much about myself, and I was able to change myself in so many positive ways that I wanted to do this for somebody else. It was kind of like a pay it forward thing.
Exactly.
You know? And we don't make any money on this to do this. We want to just share this with people. By the way, this show is brought to you by, I'm kidding. Totally. But no, we want to do this because we want to basically share the love. What did you say? By coffee? Is that what you said?
I said no coffee, no worky sponsor.
Yeah. We need a coffee sponsor.
I don't know.
We do. We need a coffee sponsor because we're always doing this in the morning. So, you know, and I think I'm fine. And then, you know, we start talking. I clear my throat 5 or 6 times because I'm like, I'm not awake yet. Hold on. More coffee. Which, by the way, I'm out. So this is a signal. We need to go. Yeah.
I know. I'm there too. So,
excuse me.
This is it. Just like, subscribe, do all that fun jazz. Please put in suggestions, comments.
We love the suggestions. We love them.
And this is really a space just to lift everybody up. This isn't a space to tear people down. If we do see that, we will take those comments down, because we really want to cultivate a humanity that is supportive and that comes from, I'll speak for me, but just comes from the heart space and lives in just the daily appreciation of just being alive. Because most often we get really bogged down by our circumstances. And when we come together, it's super powerful, and we don't feel alone. And if you find value in just watching these and that gets you motivated and going, that would make my heart happy. I know it would make yours happy. I don't know if you would say it that way, but I will say it that way.
I'm going to let you say it however you want.
I know. Yep. I know. So, yeah. So we will be back next week and days. So we look forward to it. Like, subscribe, do all that fun jazz. And remember, you have the power inside you to do whatever you want to do. And that's just not, a bumper sticker saying. It's just truth. It's just,
that is the truth. It is.
So
is that time to take your pill?
No, my
take your medication.
I don't know why.
Oh, okay.
I have it not to ding. I have it on do not disturb. For some reason, when I have my MacBook open, it always, and I'm like, crap. He's talking about getting coffee right now too. So.
Rub it in. Oh my God. I think we're done. I'm done.
I know.
Until next week.
Yes.
You
guys have a wonderful week. See you next week. And
you're good humans.
Yes. Forgive yourself. Forgive others.
Do it. Forgive us for going over 30 minutes. Let's start there.
No, it was only 13.
Oh, not bad.
All right.
Not bad.
Bye, guys.